Hello, and welcome to another Top Flight Show. Spicing the intro up a little bit there. I'm Richard Morell. Joining me on the surface this evening, it's a one-man band again. Race director, Chrissy P. What are you saying?
Hello. Yeah, we're missing our international man of mystery.
True right.
Out racing abroad. People keep messaging us saying, "Oh, yeah, we love Cameron. We all love Cameron." He's flying at the minute.
Who's messaging you? Asking for Cam?
You'd be surprised.
What else are they saying? Get me off.
No, they do. They love the dulcet tones.
Dulcet tones?
Yeah.
What?
But because Cameron's running so well. Well, no, it might be other things as well. They might just like him, but no, because he's running so well at the minute. I think people are wanting to know how he's getting on and how he's made his progress. But yeah, those who are following our team and following the middle distance scene at the minute will notice Cameron's been absolutely flying.
Yeah.
Running a 3:35, 1500. He just ran a 3:55 mile.
354, mate. 354.
I was wanting to listen to you on the live stream, but I was having to they didn't have a live stream, so I was just pressing refresh.
Yeah.
So much so that I actually got the splits as they came through a mile before the through 1500. Sorry, and yeah, he finished second in that one, and then he's gone to Germany to race a very late season for him. Yeah. Fab to see him running so well, but we're looking forward to him coming back to the studio as well.
Yeah, so I was, we obviously call him Bad Boy Boyek, and that was sort of his name, but I couldn't really drop that on Saturday too much on the commentary I was doing. I was introducing him for a section, trackside, and I referred to him as the Renaissance man.
Renaissance
man. And I feel like it's got a ring, so Cameron, the Renaissance man, Boyek at the moment. So
looking forward to asking him on air about his progress, training and stuff.
And he'll be joining us for the next set of pods. I know he's keen to get back on, so as soon as he does, we'll get into his bones about his athletic season so far.
Exactly, and those who didn't, those who haven't listened far enough back to know where that nickname comes from, I'm sure we can go through that again the next time he's on.
Absolutely. But, Cameron isn't here today. However, we have got the race director. So, Chris, I'm going to put a statement out there and I'm going to let you talk.
Actually, wait a minute. We haven't chatted about your running and training recently. Last podcast,
I was
crippled.
Yeah.
How are you getting on?
All right, mate. It's like, just steady away, knocking in maybe like 15 to 20 miles a week. I love getting out, headphones in, sticking a pod on and just going out and easy plodding. So do that, little bit of gym, that keeps me sweet. No chance of a comeback. No chance of me even doing like a park run or anything like that or I did toy with a marathon at one point, but then I thought, the train of this, I just can't be bothered hurting myself anymore. I'd done too much of it when I was younger. I've used up all my energy in terms of really digging myself. So now it's just all about plodding for me. Say that now, 6 weeks time, you'll get a message off me, Pazzi, I'm training for a marathon.
Yeah,
I'm up and down. I'm so flaky.
Yeah, I think if you've been in athletics forever, like we have, you get a little bit of momentum and muscle memory kicks in and you want to be back out there racing. Because over the last few months, there's a few times where I've had a few weeks or even a few days where back to back I've gone, actually, I'm feeling all right here. If I can just get like some consistent spells of like 50 mile a week for 3-4 months, I'd be right back up there. But then a few weeks later, something else will happen now.
Yeah.
Because I actually did a park run like last week, ran 16 something. As part of I definitely wasn't prepared for it.
Yeah.
I had to get some trainers the day before because I didn't have any carbon shoes because I chucked me Alpha Flies because they were giving me blisters. So yeah, I did the thing that you're not supposed to do, wear completely box fresh trainers on the start line. So I ended up with some new blisters off them.
Yeah, but they look mint though, don't
they? They do look mint.
Yeah,
look nice and white.
And that's what it's all about.
I had to go and get some white socks though as well because every other pair of white socks I had was actually now a bit grey. Yeah. So if you've got brand new white trainers, it's a tough one, isn't it?
At least you're looking fresh for your run though, eh?
Yeah, well that's part of it, isn't it?
Yeah. Look
fast, run fast.
Exactly. So I'm going to hit you with a little statement and then I'm just going to let you talk, something that I know you are really, really good at. So Sunday, 14th of September, Cheshire Half Marathon. Chris Parr, go.
Well, it's the next one in the Top Flight series, so it's actually unbelievable that we're through to month 9.
I know. Mental.
back to school period.
Yeah.
So yeah, the 9th race of the series in the second year. We're nearly at the end of 2 years worth of top flight, which is crazy. But yeah, Cheshire Half Marathon. We'll put the course up on the screen actually, and then we can talk through it. So you know what I always find funny about these maps, when you see people on Strava, and it makes it look like you're on an alpine trek. But it would be great if you could zoom out on these, because this course is totally flat as a pancake. About 3 or 4 meters or something over the whole course, and it makes it look like you're going up Alpe d'Huez.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really flat and fast course. So it's one where we identified in the calendar. Obviously, we're working with the events. We wanted to do one event a month. We identified in September that we had a few races that were potential for top flight. We also wanted to avoid the road relays. So last year and the year before, we ended up clashing. You're too close basically to the 6 stages. So people are already committed to the club. So we've gone a little bit earlier in the month, which meant that Cheshire Half Marathon was a really good fit. So it's a really fast course. In the past, we've had like the New Balance team, the Team Manchester New Balance have used it as part of their prep for other races. So Andrew Davis has actually got the course record in 1:05 and 1:16 on the ladies' side for Emily Kearney. So it's definitely a course that's ready to produce fast times. September's normally a nice month for running in the UK. Obviously, UK weather you can never totally account for, but it's that time of year, isn't it, where you're just getting into that half marathon season. It's still a little bit warm. You can rattle off a really quick time around this course. It's country lanes in general. So, just a nice blast out in the countryside. Hopefully we've got a good field going toe to toe, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm actually going to be on the course on this one. I'll be out on the lead bike, so I'll get to watch the race unfold as you're seeing it back in the studio.
Yeah, I was going to say we'll have our usual coverage of the Cheshire Half Marathon as well. So I believe we'll have Lloyd down on the ground in Cheshire doing his little interviews with some of the athletes, coaches.
Yep.
And you'll have me and maybe one other in the studio. We'll see what we can do.
Yeah, we'll see. It would be good to keep that like consistent team now that we've been building up. So like you said, we'll have Lloyd doing the interviews, getting the nitty gritty. We'll actually, because of how we're doing the setup now, we can cut back to Lloyd through the race. Yeah. So I don't know whether we'll be able to get him onto the course. We can have a look, because you'll have seen on the map there, it does loop round. So there's potential that Lloyd could get to a point on the course.
We just give him a bike.
Look.
How's that for content? Give him a bike, selfie, riding alongside the athletes. Yeah.
Easier said than done. So we'll see how we're doing for like signals.
He's a talented lad, Lloyd. He's a talented lad. I'm sure we'll pull it off.
When we do the tests, but whenever we're going to country lanes and stuff, it's like if the signal gets weaker, you don't want to have to like disconnect, reconnect. So we'll see. But we should be able to cut back, and Lloyd will be watching the live stream, so we can do a little bit of interaction. We'll be tracking the men and the men's race and the ladies' race. So, be great.
Yeah, absolutely. So get yourselves, I can't even get my words out here. You guys get yourselves tuned in. Sunday, 14th of September, Cheshire Half Marathon, be live on YouTube. You mentioned the Team New Balance have raced there before. I didn't know that that was a thing that they'd used that course before. But I think it's funny, like you mentioned that, like Team New Balance, it was based in Manchester, wasn't it? And I think it was set up a couple of years back. But now it's
Seems like it's been going for at least 10 years.
Yeah, but now it seems like there's lots of sort of running teams popping up, plenty in the UK, and, we've seen stuff from the States in the past and things like that. And, like a few that spring to mind for me is the M11 track club seems to be doing, great things on socials, and their partners, their sports partners, brands, plugging them. We've got Team Macau as well. Callum Elson, Rory Leonard, Andy Hobdell, and all them boys, Scott Beattie as well. and Sarah Aston. Yeah, they're doing, they're doing really good things. And it seems to be like, a growing trend. And we were chatting off air about this as well. There's Matthew Yates has the Run Yard as well. So there's these little groups that are popping up all over and sort of documenting their training, their progress, life as elite athletes, all over social media now. And, what are your general thoughts on that kind of stuff then?
I think it's great. I mean, with our group in the Northeast, the LD crew, I mean, that was the idea and the concept of that was born out of watching the flow track type things and watching at the time. I know I think it's disbanded now, but there was a group called Tin Man Elite where the coach's nickname was Tin Man, and one of the guys in their group might have worked for Adidas, and he designed all the team branding and things like that. And we sort of did the same concept for our training group where we got like a logo designed and what were being pretty uniform. And we did that because we wanted that sense of like that team aspects of an individual sport that you do get to a sense to some element with traditional club athletics, but I think the dawn of social media has meant that you can do it now yourself within a smaller niche group, and people can basically follow the groups a little bit more closer. Whereas previously, I'm not saying to get rid of any of the club system at all. The club system is great and traditional, but it's very difficult to make any like commercial partnerships or something like that. Let's say you're in a club. Well, I'm in Morpeth Harriers now, but let's say Morpeth or Gateshead or Jarrow, where I've been in. You would have to do something that encompassed the whole club, which might have 500 members and all of the different age groups and all of the different disciplines. That's very difficult to when everything's volunteer based as well. It's very difficult to get everybody on board with an idea to do something, especially if it's like trying to get any commercial partners. But these small niche groups where it's got, half a dozen very good athletes, you can make something a bit more high profile, a bit more niche around them, where hopefully you can then get a sponsor soon. Like you say, you've had New Balance, you've got Team Macau. I think a lot of them, it's either the whole team's with Hoka or some of the athletes are with Hoka. And it's fantastic that the brands are going to these groups now and going, actually, you're making really good content. That's what these brands want. Because if you roll back the clock like 20 years, you got kit deals or athletes got paid based on their performances, and the performance meant that you would have been making headlines in Athletics Weekly or newspapers or whatever. So if you were running really well, your picture was being on the front cover of Athletics Weekly. I wonder if have you done that? No, we'll leave that one. But like the brands wanted the airtime of the time, which was being on newspapers and whatnot. So you had to be good. Whereas we then had a period of about 10 years where brands like Puma pulled away from athletics and were giving kit deals for Made in Chelsea stars. Like I remember Binky from Made in Chelsea got his big deal. I think it was with Puma anyway, but it's like no athletes were getting it, but she's getting it to influence people in the running sphere because she was running a 5K. And this like influencer world has taken over, and the traditional athletics brands and sports brands have gone for this like influencer model. So now it's great that there's these small niche running groups who are now doing this. I don't want to say influencer culture, but it sort of is that, isn't it? But they're now making the pendulum swing back towards the brands supporting the really good athletes. But it's then sort of double-edged because athletes are getting sponsorship based on how good their social media is rather than necessarily their performance. It does go hand in hand, it gets both, but at the minute you can still have some like exceptional athletes who get nothing because their social media is not great. But it's good. I think there's probably quite a lot of different things that were said there without a lot of cohesion, but
I was trying to keep what we are thinking. Like, I'll make a point on this, so I'll go with that. But no, I'm similar to you. I think it's a great thing. I think athletics is, the way I look at it, is athletics is a really tough sport, and to survive at the top and be as part of the elite, you need to dedicate a lot of time. a lot of money and a lot of effort to it. Now, if you look at the way the funding system's structured, you've got these, the certain criteria that you've got to meet, and if you don't, you get dropped from funding. Well, people have got to make money if they want to make themselves, try and reach their potential. And I think if you can turn yourself and your training group and you've got the quality there and you can make yourselves a bit of a brand, and you can get, kits sorted for by, you might get some funding to go away to, altitude camps and things like that, then, I'm all for it. And as sort of from a fan perspective as well, like I'll watch the Team Macau YouTube channel. I love it. I think the content's really good. I think they've got a great balance between, showing us what the hard work, what it entails being an elite athlete, but then there's also, you can relate to, a group of lads and lasses down the track having the crack with their coach. And it looks like they've got a really good relationship. I enjoy watching that kind of stuff as well. So I think, the content side of things, it's a big factor now, and it just shows the game's changed, but it is what it is. And I think, as we know from being in the sport, you've just got to roll with the changes and adapt and go with it. And yeah, I mean, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I think it is definitely a different world now.
Yeah. I love the openness as well of like, I can remember when I was running, you weren't even really telling like your mates within the sport what sessions you were doing, because I'm going to be racing them. Now I love the way it's just, it's on Strava and it's on my YouTube channel. So you can see me go do a mile tempo, 5x800, a mile tempo. I don't care. And I like that as well. I like that openness about it. So
I like it as a fan now, on the other side, looking back, but I don't know whether, my training's on, not that it's good now, but my training's like on Strava. I've never been bothered about like hiding it behind a wall, but I know lots of athletes, if you rolled the clock back 10 years, 20 years, like you're saying, they wouldn't really want to open their training diary and share with anybody.
But it was a culture, and it was more of a culture than like, this is what we're doing. We don't need to go telling people what time's running and all that. But I think that's true.
Anecdote, but my old coach, Lindsay, he would have hated it all. He would have hated it all. He didn't like... He didn't like, Gordon. Yeah, they didn't like the thought of you saying what you were going to do. They wanted you to keep your cards close to your chest and like let you run and do the talking. So the race day, do the talking. They would have been happy for you to like discuss and post things after the race. But speaking for Gordon as well, but I think they wouldn't have been keen on people talking about what they were going to do before the event. So maybe there's still like a little element of that. It's great that we can follow like Ingebrigtsens and we can follow this, that and the other and get that. It's really important to build the momentum towards the championships. But then, I guess from a coach athlete side, it's like, how much do you want to give away?
Yeah.
And are you setting yourself up for fail? But I guess then the personality thing comes into it, doesn't it? So some people will present themselves in a way that makes them Marmite.
Yeah.
And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's not a good thing.
Yeah. I also think with the setting yourself up to fail as well, like, I don't think there's, any shame in that. And actually athletics, there is a lot of downs in the sport. There's more downs than there is ups. And I think, again, when you're documenting that, and especially for the younger generation that are maybe coming through and watching it, I don't know whether that is going to make it better, that shift in culture, that they look at it and think, well, you know what? I seen that they were training really well and they were expecting to run this, and then they went to British Champs and done that, or they went to Europe and done that, and it didn't come off for them. But then I see them in the next episode saying how, well, I'm back in the game, it was a hiccup, this is what the sport's about. You get that sort of external reassurance and validation that maybe we in the coaching system maybe didn't get as much of that. But
there's obviously got to be a balance, because I remember just in terms of the mental side of racing, Lindsay was very strong on saying like you couldn't waste that nervous energy by saying what you were going to do. So he didn't like me even discussing things in WhatsApp groups with my mates or anything. He's like, people with best interest would be saying, "Oh, you run at Watford BMC, or what time are you going to run?" Because they were interested and they wanted to do well. But his point, which I agreed with after a while, I didn't necessarily agree with him at first, but after a while I was like, yeah, it does actually make sense. Like, as soon as you start saying, oh yeah, well, yeah, training's been going pretty well actually. Like hopefully I can run around about 3:45. It's like once you've let go of that, you've let go of that a little bit of that nervous energy. Whereas if you just responded with something really neutral, with like, oh well, yeah, training's been going very well. I'm really looking forward to it. But then don't give anything away other than that. You've like kept that. You've kept that all the way until the gun, and then release it. And he was really big on the mental side and keeping it all to yourself rather than having any form of release beforehand. Where like, oh yeah, you've got that little bit of nervousness out by saying, oh yeah, well I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting because obviously the mental side of competing and performing and executing is different for each athlete.
Yeah.
And you can also change over time by experience as well. So it's interesting, isn't it? I think if it works, somebody's doing something well and then they run well, it's like, yeah, great, we should be doing it this way. But then if they do it in a certain way and they don't run well, you're like, you shouldn't be doing it that way. But actually it's probably just some balance and everyone's a bit different.
Yeah. Interesting talking points there. But yeah, so I think we'll wrap things up. We good?
Yeah.
One more plug for the Cheshire Half.
Yeah.
Go on, give us like an advert style plug, like get in the camera.
Well, Top Flight Cheshire Half Marathon, Sunday the 14th of September. We're looking for some really fast times. We've got a massive amount of prize money again, so it's always the same with Top Flight. We're looking at £200 for the win, but then there's bonuses that stack and stack and stack. So under 66 minutes is triggering a bonus, under 65s triggering the course record bonus. On the men's side, similar for the ladies. You'll have to check them out on the Top Flight website, but yeah, there's time bonuses that stack on top of each other. So the faster you get, the more money you get paid. And we're looking forward to a very good blast out over a half marathon in Cheshire.
Tell you what, that was pretty good. It was that good. I'm going to put him on the spot. Pazzy, do the outro. Give us the old like, share, subscribe crack. Go for it.
He sort of just did it by default there, but yeah.
I know, but we'll plug it twice.
Yeah, so thank you for everybody for continuing to follow the Top Flight show. And yeah, thanks very much to Rich. And if you do like what we're doing, give us some likes, comments, shares, all of those social media things, because the more traction we get, subscribe, we ought to keep going. Hit that subscribe. Yeah, thanks everybody, and we'll see you next time.
That's a wrap.